So in today's video, I am going to be previewing Gillingham FC versus Bradford City. Then in the second part of today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my Game Week 21 League 2 score predictions. If you do go on to enjoy, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could channel 70 likes on today's video, that would be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Make sure as well to get your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Let me know your score predictions as well as your starting 11 for today's game. It's going to be a tough one. We are on some not great form at this moment in time, losing to both Northampton and Leyton Orient in our last two games, conceding 6, only scoring 1 from the penalty spot as well. It's been really disappointing over the last couple of weeks. Hopefully though, we are able to bounce back in this game against Gillingham. It's the first game I am missing all season. I've been to every friendly, Papa John's game, league game, whatever you want. I've been to every single one so far this season, but this will be the first one that I am unable to attend just because there's simply no travel to the match and all that sort of stuff. It's been moved to a Sunday 1 o'clock kickoff, which is really, really disappointing. Gillingham play, I think tonight actually, on TV, and for some reason they couldn't play it on the Saturday. They had to move the game until the Sunday. It's another game that Bradford City have moved so far this season, whether it was their choice or not. They still had to, accept the proposal to move it. It's another game that has been moved to a different day or to a different kickoff time as well. So disappointing from that point of view. But make sure you drop a like on today's video, subscribe if you are new as well, and let's get into it. So if you have a look then at the current Sky Bet League 2 table, my team Bradford City currently sits 6th in the table. After 20 games, we've now got 9 wins, 6 draws, 5 defeats, 26 goals scored, 20 goals conceded, leaving us on a positive 6 goal difference and 33 points. Our last couple of games then have been a loss, a win, and a draw. Our last 2 matches have significantly damaged our goals scored, goals conceded, goal difference, all that sort of stuff. Them last couple of games then being a 3-0 defeat away to Leyton Orient, a 1-0 defeat away to Salford City in the Papa John's Trophy, a 3-1 defeat at home to Northampton Town, a 2-0 win away at Sutton United. That game feels like a long time ago. A 2-1 win away at Mansfield Town, and then just before that we had a 1-0 defeat at home to Harrogate Town in the first round of the FA Cup. That then compared though to Gillingham, they're currently sat 23rd in the Sky Bet League 2 table. After 20 games they've got 2 wins, 8 draws, 10 defeats, 6 goals scored. No, you didn't hear me wrong there. They've scored 6 goals all season, conceding at 24, leaving them on a minus 18 goal difference and picking up 14 points along the way. Their last couple of games then have been a loss, a draw, a loss, and a loss. Them last couple of games then being a 3-0 defeat at home to Salford City, a 1-1 draw at away to Dagenham and Redbridge in the second round of the FA Cup, a 0-0 draw away at Crawley Town, a 2-0 defeat away at Newport County, a 1-0 win at home to Fylde in the FA Cup first round replay, a 2-0 defeat at home to Northampton Town, a 1-1 draw against Brentford in the AFL Cup, winning 6-5 on penalties, and then just before that they had a 1-1 draw away at Fylde in the FA Cup first round. So it's been a terrible start to the season so far for Gillingham. I know a lot of Gills fans were optimistic at the start of the season. I personally didn't believe the hype about their team, and they're doing a lot worse than what I thought. Currently in the relegation zone, only scored 6 goals so far this season, so we all know what that means. It's going to end up finishing 2-0 to Gillingham. But now then, let's move into my team that I would go with if I was Mark Hughes. So this was very hard for me to pick, not because of how well we've been playing recently, just because I think the team kind of picks itself at this moment in time. Despite our previous couple of results, I think if everyone's fit, this probably will be the team, apart from maybe one of the midfielders won't be in there. Mark Hughes will probably stick with his normal midfield of Smallwood and Gilead. I would line up though in a 4-2-3-1 formation. I'd go Harry Lewis in goal. Genuinely, if he did not play in that game against Leyton Orient, we would have actually lost 7 or 8-0. He pulled off some unbelievable saves. Despite losing 3-0, he was probably man of the match in that game. Back 4 then, at right back I'd go with Brad Halliday. I think if he's fit, he is going to play. I thought apart from Harry Lewis, he was the only player who really came away with that performance against Leyton Orient with some real credit. I still thought Halliday had a decent game down in London on Saturday. 2 centre backs. Firstly, I'd go with Matty Platt. I don't know what's happened to Platt, but since his suspension, he looks really poor. Maybe it's because he's not playing with Critchlow at this moment in time. He's played with Songo and Odesina. I just don't think Platt looks really himself over the last couple of games. Pardon him, I think Critchlow should be fit for this game, so I'm going to go with Romney Critchlow. We were told he was going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks back in, I want to say, was it against Northampton? So it was before that. It's been well over 3 weeks now since that game, so he should hopefully be back fit for this game. We need him back in the team. He's a big loss when he's not playing. I don't think Songo and Odesina have really done enough to cement themselves playing week in, week out at Bradford City at this moment in time. I thought Odesina was okay against Leyton Orient, but when you've conceded 3 goals, I think something needs to change in the back 4. And then at left back, I would go with Matthew Folds. I think his performances have slightly dropped over over the last couple of games. I don't think we've quite seen the best of Matty Folds over the last 2 games, but obviously Liam Rydalge is a long-term absentee. We're not going to see him for a long time, so Matty Folds simply has to play at left-back. 2 central midfielders then. Firstly, Richie Smallwood. I thought he was okay against Leyton Orient. Didn't really do too much right, but again, didn't really do too much wrong. It was kind of just a meh performance from Richie Smallwood. I also don't think Gilead had a bad performance against Leyton Orient, but again, they were both kind of just 5 out of 10s. Didn't really do all too much. I'd part of Smallwood though with Ryan East. I've been calling for this over the last couple of weeks. I'm calling for it once again. Ryan East simply has to be in this squad. He's so much better on the ball than both Smallwood and Gilead, in my opinion. He's very tidy with his play. Was unbelievable in that game against Salford City, and we've not seen him enough since then. I've no idea why. I don't know what the thinking is from Mark Hughes, why Gilead and Smallwood continue to play in central midfield. We've seen countless times so far this season. It simply doesn't work. So I'd like to personally see things be freshened up in the midfield, but more than likely probably will go with Gilead and Smallwood. Moving in then to the front 3 behind the striker. Firstly, on the right hand side, I would go with Scott Banks. Dion Pereira not even involved in the matchday squad on Saturday against Leyton Orient. I think it looking very likely Dion Pereira will be recalled back to Luton Town in January, because it's just not simply worked out on this second loan spell with Bradford City. He's looked really poor, and the fact that he's not even making the matchday squads anymore, I think Scott Banks simply has to start this game. In that number 10 position, I would go with Jamie Walker, but I don't think Mark Hughes is going to think he's fit enough to start this game. I think he's played half an hour twice now in 2 games, but I don't think that's going to be enough for Mark Hughes to start Walker, so I would go with Harry Chapman. He's kind of just going to have to play there until Walker is fit. Again, I thought Chapman was really poor against Leyton Orient, but at this moment in time, he's the only real player that can play in that position. Potentially, you go with Lee Angle to play in that role. I wouldn't be against that whatsoever, but I think I'd slightly just edged it with Harry Chapman at this moment in time. On the left-hand side, I would go with Tyreek Wright. Again, I thought he was okay against Leyton Orient. Didn't really do all too much when he was playing on the left or on the right. Just kind of didn't really show enough, in my opinion, to be honest with you. I'd like to see a bit more from Tyreek Wright, but I think he's just ahead of Abawisa at this moment in time. More goal contributions. I know he's played a lot more minutes at this moment in time, but for me personally, I think Tyreek Wright should start on the left-hand side. Up front, I would go with Andy Cook. The man was isolated against Leyton Orient, did not stand a chance. He's not really had too much service over the last couple of games, to be honest with you, either, but we've seen the amount of goals that Andy Cook has scored so far this season. Offers much more of a goal threat than Lee Angle and Viden Oliver, so for me personally, he has to start in that number 9 role. On the bench then for me, that'd leave Colin Doyle, Jan Songo, Levi Sutton, Jamie Walker, Abawisa, Jake Young, a man who we've genuinely no idea where he's gone. I don't know why he's not going out on loan to a non-league club at this moment in time just to get him playing games, because what's the point? He's not even making the bench anymore. Not struggling to make the matchday squads on occasion as well. Still our second top goal scorer, and the man has hardly played so far this season. And finally, I would have Viden Oliver on there as well, which means the players who miss out would be Heath Richardson, Joe O'Shaughnessy, Luke Hendry, Timmy Odesina, Liam Rydalge, Alex Gilead, Emmanuel Osidibe, Dion Pereira and Lee Angle. Now then, let's move into my Game Week 21 League 2 score predictions. Starting out then with the Friday kickoff, Crawley Town versus Hartlepool United. I'm going to go with a 0-0 draw. Into the Saturday kickoffs then, Carlisle United versus Barrow AFC. I'm going to go with a high scoring 3-3 draw in that one. Crewe Alexandra versus Leyton Orient. I'm going to go with a 1-0 home win for Crewe in that one. Harrogate Town versus Northampton Town. I'm going to go with a 2-0 away win for the Cobblers. Rochdale AFC versus Stockport County. Bit of a local Manchester sort of way derby in that one. I'm going to go with a 3-1 away win for County in that game. Grimsby Town versus Tranmere Rovers. I'm going to go with a scrappy 2-1 home win for Grimsby in that one. Newport County versus Doncaster Rovers. Doncaster really struggling at this moment in time, so I'm going to go with a 2-0 home win for Graham Coughlin's side in that one. Salford City versus Walsall FC. This is the type of banana skin which Salford have struggled with so far this season, so I'm going to go with a 2-1 away win for the Saddlers in that game. Stevenage FC versus Mansfield Town, a top of the table clash. Certainly I think Stevenage will be the favourites for this game, but Mansfield very good away from home so far this season. I am just going to wear Steve Evans' side though with a 3-2 home win in that game. Sutton United versus Colchester United, certainly not going to be a fun one for the neutral in my opinion. I'm going to go with a 1-0 home win for Sutton. Swindon Town versus AFC Wimbledon. Again, Swindon, a team who are struggling at this moment in time. I'm going to go with a 2-1 away win for the Wimbledon in that one. And then the Sunday kickoff is obviously Gillingham FC versus Bradford City. I'm going to back the boys to get back to winning ways. I'm going to go with a 2-0 away win for Mark Hughes' side. But anyway, that is where I'm going to leave it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 70 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't already, with that post notification bell on, it's free to do so and it does massively help out. Get your score predictions as well as your starting 11 as well down in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Have a great rest of your day and I shall see you all very soon for another one. Peace.